Assalamu alaikum students. As we have started our first chapter on Oxford Modern English of book 5, so I want you all to turn your pages and take out your chapter number 1. As we have discussed the difficult words of this chapter, so we have to move towards the reading of this chapter, okay? So I want you all to be attentive for the reading. This extract is from the autobiography My Family and Other Animals by Gerald Durrell. Durrell was an expert in studying animals when he was 10 years old. Durrell, his older siblings, and his mother moved to Corfu in Greece to live with Durrell's grown-up brother. Larry. It was here that Durrell began to collect and keep animals as pets. So I have told you that this chapter is from the autobiography of Gerald Durrell, and I have told you that autobiography is kind of a story in which a writer tells his own story by himself. Okay, so in this chapter, Durrell was telling about one of his experience, and it is from the book My Family and Other Animals. Okay, Durrell was quite interested in collecting and examine or search animals. So here is this one of the experience of him. So we have to start. Okay, we have to start the reading of his experience. The crumbling wall that surrounded the garden alongside the house was a rich hunting ground for me. It was an ancient brick wall that had been plastered over, but now this outer skin was green with moss, bulging and sagging with the damp of many winters. The whole surface was an intricate map of cracks, some several inches wide, others as fine as hairs. Here and there, large pieces had dropped off and revealed the rows of rose pink bricks lying beneath. So when Durrell moved to Corfu, which is the city of Greece, with his family, what he was telling about house, that there is a wall in his garden which was so ancient means which was so old. Okay, so it was so ancient, it was like just crumbling wall. So it means crumbling means breaking wall. There are so many cracks in it, and there were so many, it was so many swelled due to the damp of many winters, due to the wetness, and due to the heavy rains of winters. And the meaning of moss is fungus. Have you seen the fungus which was lying on the ground when the ground was so wet? Due to many wetness, it caused moss on it. Okay, it caused fungus on it. The green planty the green plants, little plants which cause the fungus on the ground. Okay, it means moss. Bulging means swelling, and sagging means becoming weaker. So he was telling that the wall of that garden was in so much crumbled form, was in so much having so much cracks on it, and was having fungus, and was so swelled. And when you and there was so many cracks, and if you pick out the plaster which was coming out of it so easily, they were revealing the rows of pink bricks. Okay, the plaster was getting out from that wall so easily, and it was revealing the rows of pink bricks from that wall. Okay, the inhabitants of the wall were a mixed lot, and they were divided into day and night workers, the hunters and the hunted. At night, the toads and geckos were the hunters. Okay, inhabitants means animals who were living in that place. Okay, so the inhabitants of that wall, or the animals who were living in that wall, were so many, and they were divided into day workers. Some are day workers and some are night workers. Okay, some come to work, some came for in night, and some came out in daytime. Okay, so some are the hunters and some are the hunted. Okay, so some are preys and some are predators. At night, toads and geckos were the hunters. The meaning of toads is frog. Okay, the meaning of toads is frog, and geckos are the kinds of lizard. Okay, geckos is one of the kind of lizard. So at night he was telling that So he was telling that at night, frogs and the kinds of lizards were the hunters. Their prey was the population of stupid, absent-minded crane flies, moths of all shapes and sizes, and rotten beetles hurrying with their night's work. By day, it was difficult to tell the difference between the prey and the predators. Everything seemed to feed off everything else. The hunting wasps searched out caterpillars and spiders. Spiders hunted for flies. The dragonflies fed off the spiders and the flies. And the swift, multicolored wall lizards fed off everything. Okay, so he was telling that their prey, the meaning of prey, as we have discussed in our lecture in the class as well. Prey are the those who get hunted, okay, who get hunted by the predators, and predators are the ones who are the hunters of animals, okay. So he was telling that their prey was the toads and geckos make the prey of those or two of those animals or of those insects which are so absent-minded, which are basically crane flies, moths. Moths is the kind of a fly, okay, and all shapes of rotten beetles. Have you seen the beetle which was in black color and so small in size? Those were the prey. Those beetles and flies and crane flies become the prey of geckos and toads, frogs and lizards. And he was also telling that in daytime it was difficult to find out who is the prey and who is the predator, and as every animal was feeding himself by hunting someone else, okay. Wasps was searching for caterpillars, spiders are searching for flies, dragonflies are searching for spiders, and lizards are searching for every kind of insect and fly. Come on to the next paragraph. But my favorites were the shyest members of the wall community who did not seek any attention. They were also the most dangerous. You hardly ever saw one unless you looked for it, and yet there must have been several hundred living in the cracks of the wall. If you gently lifted a piece of the loose plaster, if you gently lifted a piece of the loose plaster away from the brick, there crouching beneath it would be a little black scorpion an inch long, looking as though he were made out of polished chocolate. Okay, so now in this paragraph, Gerald Euler was telling that his favorite animals are those animals which are shyest and which are living their lives so silently in the walls or in the places where they used to live, and they were so many. They are so dangerous in nature. Okay, and if you disturb them or if you examine them, they may harm you. Okay, and he is telling that if you gently pick out the piece of plaster, he was telling that if you pick out the plaster from that wall, you may see that many insects were crouching beneath it. The meaning of crouching is to sit down in a bow form. Okay, they were lying in a bow form, and there were many of black scorpions. Okay, so which are covered, which are just like made up of polished chocolate. Okay, so let's move towards the next paragraph. They were weird looking things with their flattened oval bodies, their neat crooked legs, and the enormous crab like claws, bulbous and neatly jointed as armor, and their tail like a string of brown beads ending in a sting like a rose thorn. The scorpion would lie there quietly as you examined him, only raising his tail as a warning sign if you breathed too hard on him. Okay, so in this paragraph, he was telling about the body structure of the scorpions. As you see in this picture, there is a picture of scorpion mother. Okay, so he was telling that they were so weird, they were so weird looking things. The meaning of weird is strange. Okay, the meaning of weird is strange, and he was telling that you see that they are so strange in their structure, as they have flattened bodies, oval bodies, as you see that he has the oval body. Their neat crooked legs and the enormous crab-like claws. Here they are. Here are the claws of scorpion, and the bulbous and neatly jointed as armor.